So welcome back to the show. So this whole infrastructure bill, I mean, we're stalled right now. And it's just, I mean, it just seems like they're just going in circles. And it's very, very unfortunate because we just a few weeks ago, we heard we have a deal. The bipartisan group has a deal with the White House. They still hadn't worked out all the fine details when it came to the pay for. And I knew that that was going to come back and be a problem. So these politicians are still arguing about how to pay for this and where the money should come from. And should we take money from the previous stimulus packages and how much and all this. So I want to take a look at Senator Hirono from Hawaii. She talks a little bit about what she's seeing going when it comes to this bipartisan group. And then they're going to quote Senator Joe Manchin. He's speaking out right now, and it's not good news. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned to hear about what he's talking about. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, I want to remind you guys, if you see my name in the comments section, you see my name, you see my picture, make sure there's also a check mark next to my name. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone that's trying to impersonate me. They're probably going to want you to go to their WhatsApp. I'll never post a WhatsApp number or anything like that for you to go to. So that's probably what they're going to have on there. So don't go over there. They're just trying to take money from you. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look and a listen to Senator Hirono. Here we go.
Let me go back to infrastructure, and thank you for your patience while we were playing that sound out from the president. But I did want to ask you about something Senator Joe Manchin said per Punchbowl News. And basically, it is him saying to Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, saying in part, quote, if the bipartisan infrastructure deal falls apart, everything falls apart. Both of them are extremely important. When one falls apart, how do you move on the other one?
So before she answers this question or talks about what Senator Joe Manchin posted, this is like, he's back. We thought that, oh, you know what? Okay, he's going to go along, and now he's back with this. And now he's saying, look, if we can't get the first bipartisan infrastructure bill through, then there's no reason to go to the second infrastructure bill. They need to pretty much you can't do one without the other is basically what he's saying. And it's very, very sad, very, very disheartening, because we're looking at this and he's the deciding vote. Okay. He is the deciding vote. Him and Senator Sinema are the ones that are kind of on the fence. And so you need all 50 Democrats. If you can't get all 50 Democrats, you're not going to get that reconciliation bill through. And so he is saying right now, if we can't get this bipartisan bill, this first infrastructure bill through, then we're not going to move forward with the second. Or they can try to move forward with the second infrastructure bill, but guess what? I'm not voting for that. So very, very sad to hear. But Senator Joe Manchin is at it again. So let's hear what Senator Hirono has to say.
You agree with your colleague, Senator Joe Manchin, that if there is no bipartisan infrastructure bill, the human infrastructure bill also would probably fall apart?
Joe Manchin is very committed to having a bipartisan infrastructure bill done. In my mind, those two items, the traditional infrastructure bill as well as the American Family Plan, which is the other infrastructure bill, in my mind, those two went together, and I consider what Joe said to simply reinforce that. I also think that what he said is a way to push the infrastructure negotiations to some sort of, I hope, conclusion so that we can get on with both infrastructure bills.
But if the bipartisan one doesn't pass, will the other one also fall apart?
I think that, you know what, if that happens, it would be more than tragic, but it is exactly where Mitch McConnell wants us to be. And I don't think that Joe Manchin wants us to be where Mitch McConnell wants us to be, which is nothing. So nothing doesn't help the American people. And, you know, I think Joe Manchin wants American people to be helped. So he's articulating something that a lot of us have committed to, which is that both of these bills should happen together.
So in Senator Hirono, she tried to cover for him in the beginning, cover for Senator Manchin, just by saying that he's pretty much saying that they should go together, and you can't do one without the other, is kind of what she is trying to cover for him and say, yeah, he wants to do both bills, which he might want to do both bills, but let's say they can't get this first infrastructure bill through in a bipartisan fashion. What if they put both bills together and did that reconciliation, use reconciliation to get that done? Is that something that could happen? Well, that's where Senator Manchin, it sounds like he doesn't want to put them together like that. He wants to do this bipartisan infrastructure bill and do the American Families Plan, so that second infrastructure bill. So she covered for him a little bit, but then at the end, she's talking about, would you rather have nothing? And I don't think there's any politician out there, hopefully there's no politicians out there saying, well, I take that back. You have some politicians out there, some senators that want something. You do have some senators that want nothing. And Mitch McConnell is one of those senators. He doesn't want anything. So he doesn't want anything to get done. So Senator Joe Manchin is kind of going along with what Mitch McConnell wants the final outcome to be. So it's just amazing. I hope Senator Manchin realizes, look, yes, something needs to be done. There needs to be help. There needs to be an infrastructure bill. This first infrastructure bill, we need to improve roads, bridges, broadband, and we also need to focus on helping the American people. So I'm hoping that this is just a bluff that he's calling right now, just to get negotiations back on track. But yeah, if he really moves forward with moves forward and says he doesn't want to vote on the second infrastructure bill, if the first one doesn't get passed, then that's going to be a tragedy.
As far as I'm concerned, if the traditional infrastructure bill doesn't go through, then I am prepared to deal with as much of that in the through reconciliation as possible. But, that's not where Joe is.
All right. So that was Senator Hirono, and she talked about some other stuff after that. But when it comes down to it, that's what we're looking at. We are looking at Senator Joe Manchin stepping up again and starting to make some waves. So the hope is that they get back on track and work on this first infrastructure bill and get that approved. But as of right now, it looks like they're still arguing. They're still arguing about the pay-fors and how much money to take from one place. I'm telling you, when it comes down to it, this is not acceptable. It is definitely not acceptable behavior. And we have to hold politicians accountable. We really do. And we have to watch them. We saw Senator Mitch McConnell win re-election last year in November, and he stalled the whole year. And he's been stalling for not just last year, but he's been doing that. I mean, this is nothing new for him. But we saw during a pandemic, we saw Mitch McConnell say, I'm not going to do anything for 8-9 months and then move with something. But he got reelected anyway. So people are they're not holding him accountable. So why change? Why should Mitch McConnell change if no one's going to hold him accountable? So we'll have to see what happens in the next few days. Obviously, we're now into Wednesday. We still haven't heard it. We still don't have text. So we don't have text when it comes to this first infrastructure bill, and they're not moving forward with anything. And we don't have any date for a vote, for the cloture vote, just to open up a debate. So we're well behind. I'm probably thinking the way that things are going, we might see something in the last hour on Friday, and that'll probably just be text. And then they'll say, okay, well, we're going to work into the weekend and maybe have a vote on the weekend, maybe Saturday or Sunday. We'll have to see. But we're already pushing into August. We already know they're going on recess in August, or at least that's the plan. But they need to get this infrastructure bill, this first infrastructure bill through first. And so even if they work into August, guess what? They're going to go on recess in September. So it's not like they're going to lose their recess entirely. Maybe that should be on the table. You're not going to get that recess back. They're not going to add it to September. If they do that, then maybe that will push these politicians to move forward a little faster. But if it's just pushing it down the road, as far as pushing their recess down the road, it's not that big of a deal. They can take their recess in September instead of taking it in August. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys have any questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.